you create your own happiness by reminding yourself to have happy thoughts, focusing on the happy things. And I think that will bring you happiness.
Welcome to Students Like Me. Students Like Me is a podcast by the MBA student community at Imperial College Business School. We invite fascinating people from all different MBA programs of Imperial to talk about their student lives, their thoughts, and how they learn. I am Mutita Kimakom, your host from the Global MBA program, January 2022 cohort. My guest today is Yi Wen. Yi Wen is the head of investment at Places Logistics and Commercial Trust in Singapore. Here is our interview. Yi Wen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let's begin by you tell us a little bit about who you are, where you live, and what you do.
I'm from Singapore, and I'm also now based in Singapore. Mm-hmm. So I head up an investment team for a real estate investment trust that is listed on the Singapore Stock Exchange. So the trust has a global mandate to invest in both logistics and commercial properties. So essentially, my job is to help to grow the trust by acquiring more logistics and commercial properties, particularly in the UK, Europe, Australia, and Singapore. And I will also look at if there's any strategic divestment from the existing portfolio of around 103 assets now. So that's a regular review that we do on the existing assets. We have recently in January announced the divestment of commercial project in Singapore. So that is 810 million project that was sold to a private equity. So by selling this property, we do have more cash on hand now to strengthen our financial position for the trust and also to reinvest into other assets like better quality assets or assets in other countries, etc. I mean, if any of our cohort or members are interested, do feel free to reach out if this is an area that you're interested in. So essentially, I can share a little bit more, on real estate feasibility studies, on how we look at investments. We look at both the macro and microeconomics of a certain market. And for the property itself, what's most important as the real estate 101 is location. Wow. So location is very important when we evaluate real estate projects. And then, of course, for income producing assets that I look at, the analysis will comprise of what is the cash flow projections, or what is the, how do we underwrite the property's income by looking at the occupancy, what is our view of the market. So that will be that micro part of the analysis where we will consider the market dynamics in terms of demand and supply. Yeah. So we'll have to piece up all of this and when we evaluate our acquisitions.
It sounds like this kind of job can also benefit your personal life at times. you know the insights. Right? What is a good asset in which location? For yourself, do you also use this knowledge to accumulate wealth for yourself, or how it benefits you?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think especially in Singapore, real estate or rather residential real estate are very expensive. So yeah, it's very hard to accumulate investments or personal wealth unless, you really have a lot of capital, because real estate is still, it's not like stocks. It's still capital intensive if you want to invest in something. I probably can use what I've learned from my job to, apply to personal investments for residential properties. But different asset classes are still a little bit different.
I see. Yeah, I heard that the real estates in Singapore super expensive. Yeah.
Yes, it's super expensive. And it's not freehold, it's all 99 years leasehold.
Oh yeah, right. You don't own it forever, right?
Yeah, you don't. The government owns it forever.
Yeah. That's something different from Thailand. Like in Thailand, you can give your land to your kids. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Let's talk about MBA student life. Can you tell us about the motivation that make you take on the MBA program?
Yeah, actually, I graduated from the National University of Singapore from Bachelor of Science Real Estate.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been in the real estate industry for more than 15 years. I have always wanted to have a formal credential in a business degree. So, and also from an international and reputable business school like Imperial, which is why I must say I have been kind of delaying or procrastinating doing my MBA for almost 2 years. But I have also been in discussion with the company for a while. I kind of just know that it's something that I wanted to do, and I wanted an international program so that I can get to know different people. So have an open mind, just try to, get into another phase of learning to understand the different aspects of business and to know different people and see what are their views and, and what I can learn from them.
And why did you choose to do your MBA at Imperial College Business School?
I think this global online MBA was probably one of the most flexible ones that I've come across.
Yeah.
While I was trying to look at other business school as well. So I think it kind of just fit into my work schedule, my life, and the flexibility really helps a lot. Yeah. My direct boss and my mentor was not very supportive initially, and they have been trying to encourage me to not take an MBA, but probably take an advanced program with Harvard or with Stanford, which is like a 4 to 6 months program.
Yeah.
But it's not MBA. It's just like be a management program or a leadership program or
that doesn't give the same certifying,
Correct.
Yeah.
But somehow I was very adamant that I wanted to do an MBA.
Yes.
So the discussion went on for a while, and because COVID hit and stuff like that, and so was also trying to get used to new kind of life and with COVID and stuff. So that has been discussed but put aside for a while. And then I think one day I chanced upon just a module from Imperial just online, and I just saw this private equity module. Then I wanted to just take the module just as like a training course. And then my boss, when I sent that for his approval, and my boss, he sent me an email and he said, why don't you check if Imperial has any MBA program?
Oh.
Since you mentioned before that you are keen to do an MBA, COVID has happened, we are not sure when, because at that point in time, we are not sure when, this COVID, we can get over it and stuff like that. Since, maybe you can just think of advancing your studies or your learning just to see if Imperial has that. And that was when I went online and then I searched through all the MBA programs that Imperial offer. And I chanced upon the global and online MBA, which is quite flexible because I think we can choose between 21 months to 31 months kind of flexibility. And there are some electives that can be taken on campus in the second year. So I showed him and I discussed with him, and I think that kind of fits quite well with the work and how I can actually balance the studies. And that's how I got into the program, and I decided to just apply and just try.
Yeah.
Something that like all the stars are aligned for this, for me to get into this program. yeah, it just kind of ticked every boxes when I had to choose this program.
Could you share me like what are in those boxes that you ticked?
One is the flexibility,
Yeah.
which was very important for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I will take time off from work to study. And then the other one is it allows me to still have the option to be on campus and meet up with some of the classmates next year. Yeah. So it is full online, but there are still opportunities to catch up. I think that is important to connect. And then it is international. I mean, it is a reputable school. It's a good school, and you get a chance to meet up with different people from different countries, which was also a tick for me.
They really have this point to offer, in my opinion. This is a point that really attractive to me too.
Yeah, because I also have some friends who say that, if you just want MBA, why don't you just take from NUS or just take from a Singapore university? But I knew that if I want to do MBA, I want to do with a good school because I think I can meet good people.
Yeah. To me, people really added value so much to this kind of thing. And in my opinion, it's like if you come to MBA program like this and you don't take a chance to connect and talk to people, it feels to me like you have got a very, very expensive ticket, maybe to a great museum, great art museum, and then just walk through it with eye closed. You didn't really take time to take in, what I mean? Really take in the benefit of being there.
Yeah, I think this is a very good analogy. Yeah, it's quite challenging to study and to actually have a full-time job. I also think that the 2 years will fly by, and this is probably the only 2 years of experience of working with each other. It's that journey and that interaction, like what you mentioned, and the sharing of knowledge that I really think that it will be something I really cherish. Yeah. And I felt that so far in the whole cohort, everyone is so helpful. Everyone is really helping each other. Although we don't really know each other, but we kind of just know that we are there for each other.
Yeah, I feel that too, really strongly.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Can you tell us about what you hope to learn or accomplish from taking an MBA? I think you already shared some, but is there anything else that you still would like to accomplish from?
I think that I think our interaction and this is actually very fun. And obviously, I mean, and of course with the MBA, I have been also reminding myself to wear a positive cap. And especially when there's challenges when trying to cope with work and and studies, because honestly I was quite surprised that some of the modules could be quite heavy for certain weeks in order to catch up on the same progress for certain weeks. I think when I started for the last 2 modules, I had to do 2 business trips. So when I was on business trip, obviously my schedule was quite messed up. So it was finding that was a bit challenging for me when I was trying to juggle between studying and work and traveling. I think that was the most challenging part. But I think my syndicate group was very supportive and very helpful. So that made me also felt like, okay, I'm not alone. So I was very, very, very grateful. So I have Leonard, Fred, who is based in Hong Kong, and then I have Elsie, who supported us in the finance, the FMA module project work. She's actually based in Hong Kong, and then there is Dylan, who is in Japan. And there's Ellen, who is in Taiwan. And Ellen is actually our leader for organizational behavior, who led us through the group work. So I really enjoy working with them a lot.
Can you tell us about your MBA student life in a day? How you manage your time and energy for your MBA program?
Yeah, so I guess initially I was trying to find my momentum to work and to study, and knowing that, certain milestones to complete for each week that has been set up. And currently my organization is still under a hybrid working. So we need to go back to office 3 days a week, and then 2 days working from home. So what I tend to do is that if I know that I'm working from home the next day, I will stay up late the night before to catch up on the readings or catch up on some coursework. And then because working from home, there will be some flexibility. So that's what I typically do. I will just plan my day in that sense. And obviously also on weekends as well. I also catch up on some readings and coursework during the weekends.
So that's how you catch up.
I had to really stay up quite late. Sometimes I will stay up till really past midnight, just to try to stay on track with the modules.
Just like Kim said in the earlier episode, that you are not alone in this. Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything from the MBA program that already benefited your work or your life?
I think especially for more of OB, I must say, I will actually share with my boss and my colleagues what I have learned, and try to apply that to the real life in my existing organization. And that to me was quite interesting, because there was once actually, if you recall, we studied one of the earlier modules, earlier sessions about the different types of leadership styles.
Yeah.
So I actually classify all my C-suites in the different leadership styles, and it's a critical thinking process. And I also told one of my mentors said that, see, I think this person is like a manager rather than a leader, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of such things that I try to apply to real life. So the concepts to me were very interesting. So, and the cultural module was very interesting as well.
Yeah.
So I also use that and do a reflection on my organization. Then I actually had this reflection, and I was asking my colleagues on what do you think is the culture of our organization and things like that. Yeah. So I do bring it back to my personal life, and especially in my work, to see if there's any relevance, and where we can apply some of the concepts, and if there's anything that we can improve. Yeah.
What would you be doing if you were not doing your MBA at the moment?
I guess I will be working and spending a lot of time on my work. And then weekends I'll be watching more Netflix. I wish I watched less of it, obviously, with the commitment from school. Yeah. So I don't have any, honestly, any big plans that I have really set aside. So I'm kind of really enjoying the journey and the process. Yeah. It's something different that I think in my life now.
When you feel struggle as a student during the MBA program, how did you deal with it?
I guess talking to your classmates or syndicate group helps to share. If you think that, I really can't finish certain things this week or by the deadline, I think it's good to be open about it and to share with them and see how they can help you, or see how, whether they can move the times, or whether we still have time to, reset some targets and deadline. I think talking to people, letting them know about your situation does help. And of course, I also will speak to my boss and some of the peers. If my organizational workload is very high, I will just have to let them know that, there's certain things that I can only, fulfill because I have other commitments. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds to me like you use communication as a tool. Has the MBA program changed you in any way?
Honestly, I feel that I'm more open-minded, more eager to learn. And I've always been reminding myself to wear that positive cap, to try to maintain that positive mindset when, at certain periods, you just kind of felt like, oh, this is just too much. I think so far, I'm still enjoying the process. Even sometimes it can be a bit challenging, but once you get through it, I think it's still fun.
Challenge make us proud of the process. Yeah, of ourselves. Yeah, I feel the same way.
With every challenge, then you feel that, oh, I've grown a little bit. Oh, okay, I can actually do this. Yeah, so I think that overall there's some improvement on my end. Yeah,
we already talked about the tools that you use, like communication tool, but any other kind of studying tools or techniques that you use to help you learn and develop yourself?
Yeah, I noticed in our cohort there were some classmates who were probably more IT savvy, and there's certain software that they use to take notes and stuff. For myself, I'm still quite traditional in the way that I still write down I have a notebook where I keep all my notes, and so, but I like to do mind mapping. So if I have certain concepts that I think is important and stuff like that, I'll try to do it in a chart or stuff like that. Yeah. But I typically use my hand to draw it. Yeah.
Or like kind of visual learning.
Yeah.
Let's talk about role model. Do you have role model that impacts your life?
I don't think I have any role models. But I do have people that I look up to when I have certain decisions I need to make. Just want to also hear from them. And if they were in that situation, how do they deal about it? And just to really get more information. But obviously, there are some core values that I identify amongst them that I really appreciate. For instance, my boss, when I'm always in doubt in making certain decisions, he has told me a couple of times, just do what you think is right. Yeah. So sits with me for a long time. Because I guess that was something that he has been doing also, that he always said, we need to do the right thing. What is the right thing for our investors? From that sense, and know that that's the right thing to do. I guess when you reflect or when you come back to review the decision that we made, we will know that that is the right decision. When you have the chance to look back at why you make that decision, you will know that at that point in time, why did we make that decision?
I think that a lot of decisions, especially in your position, is not simple. It's not easy. And it involves a lot of money.
Yes, it's to advocate that you know why you will not regret the decision. And you stand firmly in believing what is doing, why you think that that's the right decision that you make, so that it's beneficial for our investors, it's beneficial for the organization, and that we make a call to our decision. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. My point is that it might sound simple, but it's actually deep.
Yeah. Can I share another thing? Sometimes when there's certain things, I feel that, certain things should be done this way, because this is how we are doing it. And then you ask me, why do we need to do this? I'll try to explain, that's how we used to do, blah, blah, blah. And then he will say 2 words. He said, why not? He's trying to say, why can't we do it the other way? And that in my brain or in my mind, you will ask yourself, oh, you're right. Why not? Why do we have to do it like that? I think this is also probably what we learn in the cognitive behavior. that we have also learned, which is another part that I kind of connected in my work and what we have learned as well. That there's certain bias, thoughts that we have been living with it because we've been doing things in the same way or, from our previous experience. But when people start to question and ask, why not? It kind of really made me think, or took a step back and think, oh yeah, why can't we do it the other way around?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can, also associate with that.
Yeah.
But that's something I learned and I thought was very useful for myself in the last few years. That makes me also feel more open-minded in my thinking. Yeah.
That's the origin of creativity, I think. Asking why question. And
partly also because my boss is Australian, and I guess where I was from and brought up, and a lot of upbringing is very Asian. And then once you get to work with someone from a different cultural background, and the kind of challenges or the kind of views that they have is also a bit different. Quite eye-opening for me when I get that kind of response from him. Yeah.
Oh, Yi Wen, what made you happy?
I think happiness is a state of mind and a perception. When you think about happy things, you will be happy. But if you choose to focus on the negative things, the things that bring you down, the things that you are insecure about, you will obviously not be happy. Yeah, so I believe that happiness is a state of mind. You create your own happiness by reminding yourself to have happy thoughts, focusing on the happy things. And I think that will bring you happiness.
Yeah, that's so simple.
I truly believe in that. I don't think I have mastered it 100%. I don't think so. I think humans, we all have our emotions, and there are periods of highs and lows. But I think the low periods are also preparing yourself to enjoy the periods when you have good moments. Yeah, without the bad moments, when you have the good moments, you will not appreciate the good moments. So happiness is up to you.
Wow, well said. Love it.
That's what I always do. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you keep it simple, and that's why you are happy, right? Otherwise, if you think about happiness in a very difficult term, like you have a lot of conditions for happiness, then it's harder for you to feel it, to be happy.
I truly believe that you can always choose happiness, because everyone has the ability to be happy. But sometimes we are just trapped in a certain situation, and then we are so unhappy about it. That is also that's why we always need to maintain certain level of mental well-being. I think that mindfulness and that awareness is important to know when you are in a good moment and when you are in a bad moment. And once you can identify that, you can train your mind to focus more on the good moments. But I don't think it's easy, to be honest, because like I said, we are all humans. But I don't think it's impossible as well.
Yeah. Any elements from the MBA program that bring you happiness?
I think the learning itself, I feel that it has made me be in an expansive mood because this is like, although I'm in like the business for a long time, but this is probably the time I study about the concepts. So there are people who will tell me, this is just very theoretical, blah, blah, blah. But I guess when you learn how to apply the concepts, or you can identify with the concepts, I was actually very happy. If I keep focusing on, my weekends are gone, I cannot go out for drinks and stuff. But I mean, I really literally had to drink less because because of studying. Yeah. So because we had our syndicate call actually on every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. So I remember the first time we was asking everyone, oh, can you make it at 10? I literally just said, yeah, I just have to drink less on a Friday night.
Mm.
So I attend the call on a Saturday morning. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably good for your health anyway during this period of time.
So anyway, that's why my mentor also initially he also said that, oh, I don't think you need an MBA at this point of your life, but I really wanted it, and so now and then he'll remind me that, oh, see, I told you it's going to be painful. But he also knows that I'm enjoying the learning and the process, and so I think he was happy for me. Yeah.
I think part of it might be, I imagine that you have proved to him as well that it doesn't affect your work.
Yeah, because I over drink sessions. I always tell them, what I learned this week, blah, blah, blah. And they just have to sit there and listen to me. Okay, she's really very passionate about it. Yeah, and I think that's when they also sense that, okay, I think I can see that she's growing.
Yeah.
And she's really learning something. And I think when people see it, I think, and you know that they are happy for you, I think that kind of double happiness is, you can feel it. Yeah.
Well said. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about success in general. What does success mean to you and how do you measure it?
I think there's no fixed formula for success, and it really varies from individual with their lives and their experience. I guess for me, I truly believe success is living life in an authentic manner and being true to myself in my life and in my work. And, just feeling fulfilled and being in a happy state of mind. It's, it's success. Not that I'm always success. But I think that's what I truly believe that that could be a form of success as well.
Is there anything I didn't ask you and you want to tell us?
I think we have covered a lot. Something I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
So how people can find you in the Slack group?
They can find me by my name, Yi Wen. Yeah.
Our peers can reach out to you for finance, ask, please help us out in the next module.
Yeah, we'll definitely help each other out.
Yeah, Yi Wen, thank you so much for sharing your story and perspectives with us, and really appreciate talking with you today. Thank you so much for your time and wish you all the best for your success and your degree. Really looking forward to seeing your achievements. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again to Yi Wen for joining us, and more stories from Students Like Me will